Testing, 1, 2, testing. Testing. ¿Cómo se dice testing? Alright, let me just kind of set everything up here real quick. Alrighty then. So we are going to play some Fallout New Vegas, and we might be talking about JD and his bipolar community. While we're doing that, I'm gonna mainly be doing settlement stuff. Hey, winner! This video is entirely for entertainment purposes only. Before I even get started, I sit here and I talk about what's on my mind.
You gotta take things one day at a time.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Your emotions appear to be an anomaly in your programming. Perhaps you should have them purged.
After this video, and maybe the video after that.
I've never lost anyone before. This failure is new to me.
We gotta go and deal with her people, because if Ada continuously tells me that she's failed all the time, it just, honestly, it gets annoying after a point. So, since my last video on this, we've been mostly exploring, opening up the Commonwealth, building the settlements up, and doing some missions. My farm was all down here. I decided to expand the farm by building onto all of this. And then put some furniture, make it look nice. This way the workers have a place to sit down, relax, take a load off. Go up here, and there's more places to plant things. Because the more food we're bringing in, the better. However, I will note that we have less happiness for some reason. Everything is above 12, because that's how many people we have. And somehow, our happiness is going down. Probably because the farm is so freaking big. I do not know how we have 12 settlers too. I feel like, hold on, you can't count companions, can't count Carla, can't count Preston Garvey. Let's go scrap these real quick. Let's see, moving this, or just leave that there. Everybody's just building stuff, I guess. I don't know. This is the sleeping house. You guys don't have to stalk me religiously. This is Stacy. She's assigned to Vulture Watch, I guess. I don't know what that bird means. I don't remember where I assigned her. We have the Deathclaw cage because nobody's screwing up. There's June. There's Amelia. This is Larry. Hold on. Let's start counting people. 1, 2, Stacy's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who the heck are you? Anyway, 8. Honestly, I don't see how we have 12. Where's everybody else? Are they all in the? Are they all in the lounge? They probably are. No. This is so bizarre. It's like Preston Garvey, I guess we could count. That would make 9. Count all the Minutemen. Maybe Ada. So that's 10. What's up, D-Chat? Welcome to the stream. We're trying to see how many settlers we have, because it says we have 12, but I count a maximum, potentially, of 10. Codsworth, I guess, is 9 or 11. then scrap that. Oh, and dog meat, that's 12. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it didn't make sense originally. Anyway, where was I? So I'm going to scrap everything in here. I should turn on the light. It's dark in here. Ooh, another magazine. How did I miss this? So I guess we'll start with the conversation. So I learned from using Nightbot that Nightbot only works if you activate it. You have to go into your chat and push a command, and only then does Nightbot actually start doing what it's supposed to do. We have 2 cats. We need 2 more because they're immortal. Anyway, love cats. So yeah, that's the thing about Nightbot. Shortest conversation of all time. We'll clip it, make its own video. In fact, we're going to start doing that. We're going to start clipping down our videos and turning them into... We're going to start clipping down our live streams and turning them into clip videos. For this channel, by the way. The reason why is because then you can get the entire topic of what we were talking about at the time per conversation. It'll make things easier to find when you're trying to find certain segments. Plus, it'll make it so it's just a segment. Gives us a reason to have more content, you know what I mean? Content, whatever. I don't even know if it's considered content at this point. Okay, let's go and build upon this. We're gonna work on the water treatment plant.
You should go. The whole place is run by robots.
I actually was already there. We're going to go work on the water purifier system today, and we're going to expand all this out to the river, and what we're going to do is going to make the river a water purification plant. So, go into settlement mode here. Where to begin? I don't know if I want to talk about JD right away, because I don't really... Right now we're having quite the situation. Some people are probably be like, why are you picking a fight with JD? I'm not trying to pick a fight with JD. I have a problem with his hypocrisy. And the more and more I interact with this posing bitch, forgive my wording, the more frustrated I become. Because a lot of people look up to JD as a guy who wants to make pedos afraid again and all that other stuff. And I'm learning from the comment section of the last couple of JD videos, because those videos are blowing up. They're slowly gaining more and more traction, which tells me it's working. What we wanted to happen is working. Our goal is not to gain popularity. Our goal is not to be a grifter. Our goal is to call him out on his bullshit and then see where things go. Because if people start talking about it, the predator group that I was trying to expose won't be able to do what they do anymore. But here's the thing that I find very interesting about that said predator group. Hold on. Let's go up to a workbench or something, because I have a lot more supplies I'm going to need for this. This is going to be a tizzy. That predator group that I mentioned, the one that was stalking, harassing us in D-Chat, you could probably verify this. They haven't been around. Ever since this JD thing started, they have been dipping out. Oh, fuck. I have not seen them in our comment section. I have not seen them in our live chats. I have not seen them anywhere. It's like they completely just said, F this, we are getting the hell out of here. Which proves a very crucial theory. Somebody had the idea, I don't remember who, it wasn't me, I know that much. But somebody had the theory that if you get enough eyes on this, they're not going to be a part of it because they can no longer control the narrative. I mean, you would think they would try, but nothing. They've all been silent as the grave. D-Chat says they've been scarce, though I saw them last night trying to poison the well. I made short work of them, though. I haven't seen them. When I'm on my camera streams, I don't really see the live chat. My phone isn't built that way, and my phone is kind of glitchy. So if people are commenting on my camera streams, the ones that are the vertical streams where I'm talking to the camera, right? And I usually do those at night. I only do those at night. The rest of the day, it's gaming stuff, pretty much. Gaming while talking shit, gaming by itself, gaming, having a good time, whatever, right? Primarily at night is the the camera streams, especially the ones on my phone. And I don't see the chat most of the time. Like it's my phone fell, and there's a giant crack in the upper right hand corner, and the crack goes all the way down the screen, and it's made the front camera really hard to use because when there's light, it reflects weird. And so it makes reading the chat kind of difficult. So I try to keep the chat within reason when I respond. And I usually only respond to mods or people that are being civil in the first place. And even then, it's kind of hard to read them all because they flood on the camera streams, I've noticed. So when you're on those camera streams, just so you know, I don't see all the comments. The ones that are held for review, I do not respond to them. Because if they're held for review, they're held for review because somebody's acting like a douche. That's usually what it's been. So I don't respond to held for review comments, and I also don't respond to anything that looks like it's a troll. Because what's the point? Let's see. But generally they've been scarce. Yeah, that has been the case, and that's what I've noticed. But see, you can't help but notice the time frame in which they became scarce. We started picking a fight with JD, and they tuned right out. It's almost like if JD is our punching bag emotionally for the fact that JD did fail, and there's some things coming out about JD that people don't like him very much, right? But apparently there's some things coming out, and if we certainly pick and prod at those things, these people are like, we don't want all these people to see what we're doing, so they just disappear. I don't know what that'll mean. Does that mean they'll delete their channels? Does that mean they're going to go into hiding like they do every other time? Like, I haven't seen these people go into hiding because they've gotten ballsy over the last couple of years, saying some disgusting, horrifying things. But I say horrifying because it is actually quite disturbing, the things that they talk about. But, yeah, I've noticed that. They just have not been here as often. It's almost like they don't want the attention. Right, 1,000 is the most we'll do. But anyway, where was I going with this? So yeah, I don't really know if I want to talk about JD, but there have been some things going on within the JD situation that
It's astounding
I
how
find
much
interesting.
you'll have to
Can't talk
discover out here.
I talk shit about JD though because he deserves it. The guy is a poser, a fraud,
What gave you the idea
hypocrite, and I don't like him very much. I'm allowed to have that opinion, but I made a video within the last week. I don't know how many days ago it was. It doesn't even matter at this point. And it doesn't matter. We're not looking for specifics of when the video was made. It was made within the last week. You know why I say that? Because somebody's going to whine and say, you're spreading misinformation by not telling us exactly when. I've had these morons actually show up and say this shit. So, for what it's worth, it was in the last week. That's what's important, right? Anyway, moving right along here. I made this live stream where I basically talked shit about JD. Because, you know, I'm allowed to have an opinion, and I'm allowed to think he's a lying douchebag piece of shit. And for some reason, people are like, yo, you can't feel that way. You're not allowed. No, actually, no. Let me be really 100% honest with you all. Because lying or even saying a paraphrase would never actually cut it in this day and age. Because you have to remember how many retards take things so literally. Nobody knows how to use examples and metaphors anymore. Because that's just offensive. Okay, fine. So we'll use exact wording. People have been coming into my comment section, not my live chats. Apparently they're too big of bitches to use my live chats. They don't want a confrontation in the moment, I guess. I don't fucking know. I'm just guessing at this point. No, they've been going into my comment section, which is fine. Again, this helps us. This is a good thing that this is happening. But I am learning very quickly that JD Delay's community is dog shit. Like, they are almost worse than he is. JD Delay is a hypocrite, a liar, the kind of person that is not what I would call a reformed felon. In fact, he's a complete hypocritical dog shit piece of shit who's only chasing pedos as far as content because it's a way to make himself look good. That's the only reason JD Delay is saying make pedophiles afraid again, is because it makes him sound like a really good guy. If you hate pedos, people flock to you and say, you're the good guy. You're one of the good ones, JD. You're doing the Lord's work. By doing what? By saying make pedos afraid again and putting out merchandise and convincing you to buy his crap? okay, I guess in a way, maybe he is doing his part to spread the word that we should actually hate those kinds of people. I think in all retrospect, maybe that makes sense. But here's the problem. His community, somebody actually worded this. Hold on, I want to pull up the exact comment because the comment itself was god tier. The comment itself explained every comment I've seen so far with perfect detail. And we're going to read off some of these comments too. Let's go to the comment section. Let's go to published. Oh, then there's this one. We're going to read that one after that. It's an even better one. So this person, I'm not going to read their name because we're not putting them on blast, but their comment is worth noting, right? This person says, I like JD, but I'll admit, his community is a bunch of bipolar pussies who can't handle any type of different opinions, mainly liberals, which isn't surprising. From what I've seen of the JD community in my comment section, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. They are bipolar pussies. I say that, and I'm pretty sure he says it as well. I mean, I'm guessing why he has that opinion, but I know why I have that opinion. They'll say, hold on, I want to read some examples, actually. For example, JD is all about making pedos afraid again. If you're a pedo, you're a bad person, there's no justification, right? Which, to be fair, is one of the things I admire about JD. I don't like him as a person considering his hypocrisy and his bullshit, but like when it comes to that opinion, I agree with JD 100%. All pedos are bad. We should never try to justify any of it. If someone is doing something sexual, someone under the age of 18, someone who is a minor, and across the United States, if you're under 18, you're a child, okay? That is how that works. If you're doing something sexual with minors, you're a bad person. That makes sense to me. I'm 100% on board with that. So we have this one guy. Hold on, I'm looking for it real quick. It's right here. I'm going to put him on blast. His name is Fordman7479. He states, hold on. He commented on a video where I showcased proof of pedophilia too. Proof of predators, right? He says, bro, what is it? What is this? Is what it's all about? She'll probably be 18 in less than 12 months. So he's confirming that it's a child. She was 16, by the way, but I guess 2 years, 1 year is not a big difference, right? He continues to say, once she is all of a sudden becomes an adult, are you still going to have a problem with it? And he's 23, not much of an age gap. That's at least 6 or 7 years. Still pedophilia, right? He says, save your outrage for actual pedos. So someone having sex, an adult having sex with a minor, a 7-year age difference, is not an actual pedo because you want to justify it somehow? Age consent laws pander to pedos. So even if you had the excuse, oh, it's age consent, it's still pandering to pedophilia because at the end of the day, if someone is under the age of 18, let's say 16, right? Because that's the big gap. That's the big number that I see nowadays. Everybody's debating it. If someone is 23, 34, 48, 72, banging a 16-year-old, you're okay with it? So I called Fordman7479 a diaper sniffing bitch. They love that word, diaper sniffer. I'm not exactly sure, but why would you be against it when JD says it, but you'd be okay with it when I say it? If JD's against it, you're totally on board with hating it. But if I say it, you're going to justify why it's okay to do that with children. Anyone under the age of 18 is a minor. That's the problem with JD's community. They don't stand by their bullshit. But then we had another comment. This is where things are getting interesting, right? This is where things are getting really, really interesting, right? Because then there was another comment by someone, not going to put them on blast, but they had a lot of things to say about JD, none of which were positive. And some of this stuff I didn't know. So he says, wow, what a stellar role model. Spreading misinformation without apologizing or correcting himself. Sounds like a real stand-up guy. Also, let's not forget his impressive resume. Car theft to support drug habits. Car theft. JD steals cars to support his drug habit. Marijuana. If you're stealing cars to support marijuana, that's still a drug habit, right? And then DUI convictions. Yeah, he's totally reformed. His crusade against pedophiles might get him some fleeting popularity, but it seems like just a convenient narrative. Guess some people overlook a lot when someone's shouting about the right causes, even if their own track record is questionable. Me and this person would have some back and forth on our opinions of JD, and I think I found out that the farther these comments go along, the more and more we find out that these comments are going in my favor. JD's fucked. No. Let me really explain. Let me spell it out. JD DeLay is a fake poser and a bitch. I know it's Sunday. It's Lord's Day. We shouldn't say this on Lord's Day, so I'll refrain from using too much profanity. Okay? But JD is a fake poser who pretends to be against things just to make himself look good. Look, this was originally, that's not what this crusade of mine was about. My crusade I guess you'd call it a crusade, right? My issue with JD boiled down to the fact that he said he would help me stop a predator group because he's always yammering on about stopping predator groups, and when it came down to it, he didn't want to actually do that. I'm sorry, there's nothing I hate more in this world than a hypocrite. So I go on these videos and I stress my frustrations because why wouldn't I at this point? And for some dumb reason, people are like, oh, you can't feel that way because, you know, JD's a great guy. You know, you can't talk shit about JD. He's a good guy. He's one of the good ones. You know, I've heard a lot of excuses, to be fair. A lot in this situation. If you say you're going to help do something, you should be a man of your word. Being that he's a reformed drug addict and a reformed criminal, I mean, that's just the best way to sum it up, right? Being that he's a reformed criminal, I shouldn't be surprised. In fact, I shouldn't even complain. I'm still going to because it's the internet, I'm allowed to. But my question here is this. If you're going to go around spewing a bunch of nonsense about what you believe, I am the kind of person, the way I was raised, the way I grew up, is that if you say you're going to do something, you should do it. If you believe in something, you should stand by it. You should actually be a man of what you say you believe in. Because we are nothing without our beliefs. Okay? That's the whole point of the free world, right? To believe what you want, to do what you want, to say what you want. Okay? And if you believe in God, then stand by that. I believe in God, and I believe that when we all die, we have a place to go that'll be nice. Unless you're a bad person, then you're going to hell, right? Like, that's a belief. If you believe pedos are bad, all pedos are bad, not just the ones that are convenient or when certain people say it. And if you believe that people should be helped and we should raise awareness on matters when the time comes, then you should actually stand by that. If you believe in making pedos afraid again, you should make pedos afraid again. Like, I don't understand this nonsense with people about, like, oh, well, we should only do it if JD says it. Or my favorite one. This is my favorite one. You guys ready? My favorite one is this. We should only do it's not pedophilia unless JD says it's pedophilia. You realize how retarded this community is? JD's community are the biggest retards on God's green earth. I've never seen dumber people in all my life. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be a grifter. I'm not saying that because I'm looking for a problem. No, I'm saying that because from my experience, this is like news coverage to me. Okay? At this point in time, if you're going to sit there and be a completely just fake jackass, somebody's going to say something. And if it wasn't me, it was going to be somebody else at some point. I think it's funny nobody's called him out on his bullshit yet. But apparently, a lot of people have a problem with JD. A lot of people. Gee, I wonder why. Like, anyone can make a flag that says, make pedos afraid again. I could rip off his content right fucking now, add my own spin on it. It's not copyrighted. I highly doubt it's copyrighted. If JD copyrighted that, well, that's ridiculous because trust me, it's not copyrighted. I looked into it, okay? So I could make those same flags, those same shirts. It don't mean shit. It really doesn't. But when I say I hate pedos and I want to see them all burn, here's the difference between me and JD. I actually mean it. JD's like, well, it depends on if it gets me views. I don't know what the fuck to say to that. You know, like, it's just, I think there's a lot of fake people in the world, you know? And I knew JD was fake. That's why I was talking about it. I was calling JD out for being fake because, mind you, I have a right to do so. I have a right to have a problem with him. But his community's like, you offended our hero, or whatever it is they look at him as. Their capital dick sucker. No, like seriously though, they're all offended because apparently you're not allowed to talk shit about their queen. JD's a fucking queen over there. Fucking no, he's a queef is what he is. And I got sick of it. I waited for 10 months for him to be a man of what he said he believed in. Yeah, I'll help you out, man. Message me on Instagram. We'll talk about it. And I thought for a second that maybe I should reach out. Maybe if I'm patient, maybe he's busy, you know? Like, that's what was going through my head at the time originally. I thought he was busy. And so I thought that maybe that's why he hasn't gotten back to me yet. And nope. It wasn't because he was busy. It's because he didn't give a shit. He took my money and ran. You know? You know what would solve this problem? I know it sounds ridiculous. Really, this is going to sound ridiculous, okay? I want my $5 back. Hey, JD, cash at me $5. We'll call it even. Because apparently, his whole community is up in turmoil over this. Which is fine. I don't care. I really don't. Like, I'm just saying because, remember, it's not about JD. It's not about his retard community, and they are all fucking retards. I'm sorry. I mean, if you follow JD and suckle his teeth, every little thing he says, try to remember this. JD don't give a shit about you. He don't give a shit about stopping pedos. He blew me off because he didn't want to do the work that came with it. He knew what was coming with it. He read my comment aloud. If he was so hell-bent on actually doing that, you'd think he would jump on board with it. Let's see. Just want to remind you all that, okay. Just reading the comments of Nightbot. I thought that was a commenter. Yeah, he's a fake piece of shit. He's a fraud. And it doesn't really bother me because I was aware of this from the get-go. But here's the thing. If I have an opinion, I'm going to share it. If I want to talk shit about somebody, I'm going to. Also, it's funny because a lot of the people who watch the video... Hold on, where's the... there we go, that's the one. A lot of people who are watching the videos called me, said I was becoming the next Stan. I think, now, it's been a while, okay? This says that a lot of old people watch JD's content, I guess. I don't really know. But I'm pretty sure Stan was an Eminem reference. Like, wasn't Stan... wasn't Stan from that one song by Eminem about the guy who was a fan? Because they mentioned it was a fan thing too. Like, you're an obsessed fan. No, I'm a hateful former fan. There's a big difference. I used to be a fan of JD until I found out how fake he was. So there is unfortunately a difference. But anyway, yeah, I heard some comments saying this is like the next Stan. I don't really know, man. I mean, Stan ended quite tragically. If you listen to the song, understand the story that Eminem was telling there. It didn't end on a good note. It ended quite sadly, actually. This isn't quite the same thing. I'm not looking to off myself if he doesn't do what I ask. Like, that's not what's happening here. But I guess that's what they're correlating it to, right? Can I get it here, or is it going to just bump up every time? Whatever. But yeah, the Stan thing I thought was kind of hilarious. Mostly, that's not an insult. If that was meant to be an insult, it doesn't work. Then there was the diaper sniffer comments. There's a black guy. Yes, guys. It's okay to say the N-word in this moment, okay? But, like, there was a black guy that showed up, and he's like, you look like a diaper sniffer. I'm like, so you're saying because I'm white, I'm a diaper sniffer? You realize how racist that is, right? Then again, I wouldn't expect anything else from a black guy. I'm sorry, I've never met a decent black person, ever. There's been a lot of black people in my life, and none of them have been decent. I'm not saying black people are bad. I'm saying I expect this from black people. Because black people come in here and they're like, you look like a diaper sniffer. You can't look like a diaper sniffer. Diaper sniffers, pedos, right, from what I understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure JD stole that as well, because let's be honest here, he's not very original. But diaper sniffers, or pedos, come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. Men, women, black people, white people. There's a lot of Mexicans right now getting caught doing that from the immigration policy. Which is fucking hilarious. I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And somehow they're not bad people, but they're over here violating children. Yep, that makes sense to me, I guess. I don't fucking know. But anyway, yeah, I've heard some retarded comments coming out of the mouths of black people, but that one probably took the cake. He's like, you look like a diaper sniffer. You know, you're only saying that because that's what JD says, but also, let's be honest, well, JD's never called me a diaper sniffer, let's be honest here. But, JD says diaper sniffer all the time. These people come in here, and the first thing they want to do is say diaper sniffer, because it makes them sound cool, I guess. I don't fucking know. What I find interesting about that is that you know that this is a retard coming from JD's community. His community are nothing but retards. I say this on Sunday, the Lord's Day. That's how you know I take it seriously. Because if you're that retarded, then the Lord himself is cool with it. Because at this point, how can God strike me down and send me to hell for being honest? Stan is pretty much used ubiquitously by late millennials, early zoomers. Basically just means fan, but that is indeed the origin. Basically, I guess the idea is that an obsessed fan who spends way too much time nitpicking their favorite personalities. It's only been a couple days, so it doesn't work. Okay, let's just say that analogy is the case, right? It doesn't work then, because I don't spend way too much time. I've only spent a couple of days on this because I waited for 10 months to say anything. And they're like, you're a fan. I'm a fan because I hate his guts? Wait. Hold on. Let's really dissect that part for a second. I hate his fucking guts. I think JD deserves to go to prison. That was the video in question, by the way. JD, my thoughts on JD going back to jail. And then there was the JD delay update, and then, of course, the one from, I think, last night, right? So they're sitting here saying I'm a fan because I hate him? Do you realize that's not how fandom works? I know there's a lot of fans in denial in the world. They'll sit there, they'll watch all your content, etc. But if you hate somebody with a die-hard passion, like you want to see them leave this earth, which person with JD wouldn't mind. Because, let's be honest here, because he failed to do what he said he would do, and we put so much time into hoping that he would just being real about it, our families suffered. Our friends all suffered. Our homes were attacked. People were actually victimized. Children included. And JD's like, supposed to be my role model, I guess, or whatever you call the opposite of a fan, right? No. Fucking hate him. And that's what these videos express. How am I a fan? Like, I know that people are retards. A lot. But you can't be that stupid. Like, these people can't be that stupid. But then again, I find out that most of them are liberals, according to the general people who do. There's been comments. Okay, the bigger these videos grow, the more you get comments on both sides of the field. Some people are defending JD by calling people names and acting like jackasses and retards. It is what it is. The other half are supportive of what I'm saying. They're like, yeah, JD's a fake bitch, man. This has been knowledge for a while now. People aren't really noticing it, but they're starting to. Well, I would love to be the one who lights the fucking entire thing on fire. Because let's be honest here. I don't like JD very much. I relied on him. I looked up to him at one point. I used to be a fan. Let's be honest here. I used to like his content, but like I said, once you see how fake he is, you can't unsee it. What are we gonna do with this place? I don't know if I want to turn this into like some kind of a workout gym or something. It's near the water, so it might be nice. Or we can turn it into a little house, I guess. I don't fucking know. The point is, I used to be a fan, not anymore. And the reason why I'm not anymore is because I just felt like it was a waste of my time. Now I'm venting out my thoughts for a few days because this is the week where I bitch about JD. Dude, there was always going to be a point where I was going to do that. Because at some point I was going to vent my frustrations, right? This is the internet. You're allowed to vent. If you can't handle what I have to say, get your bitch ass off the internet. You don't belong here. Because at this point, the internet's full of people who do this. You think I'm the only one who talks shit about JD? Of course not. What, are you going to call them diaper sniffers too just because they... So let me get this straight. If you disagree with JD, you're a pedo. That's what half the community has been up to. They're like, if you disagree with JD, you're a pedophile. Really? Is that how that works? Jeez, well, at this point, where are the kids? Like, seriously, where are they? If I'm a pedo, you should see something, right? Like, so there should be some evidence, right? Fucking A. Like, fucking hell. Like... I'm not saying I want them around or anything like that. I don't find kids amusing, but like, or whatever the word is, because the whole pedo thing really makes me uncomfortable. I just fucking hate pedos. I don't like kids. I can't stand kids. I'll let them be in our live chats if they're civil, but like at the same time, I don't really like them being around. You know why? Because every time kids are around, that's what they'll run to. Pedophilia! I'm like, there's nothing sexual happening here. They're saying cool game, and I'm saying, yeah, it's Fallout 4. Or whatever the fuck the game is at the time, right? How the fuck is that the same thing? So, like, at the same time, like, where are all the kids? If this is so true, you should see a surplus. Mr. Beast, for example. Mr. I shit you not. JD jumped on that bandwagon so fucking fast when he found out Mr. Beast was potentially a pedo. He was like, Mr. Beast is a diddler. And, you know, I hate to say this. I do think it makes sense to some extent because Ava Tyson and he knew the whole time. But like at the same time, where is Mr. Beast trying to get in the pants of kids? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't really think that works. But like Mr. Beast has kids around all the time. It makes sense, right? Let's see. William Gloriahole made posts about you. I don't fucking care. Fuck him. I thought he was bored. I thought he had a life. He's still whining about me. You tell that queer that it's a little bit late, okay? Like, I don't have time for William Gloryhole. With a name like William Gloryhole, who can take him seriously? Anyway, let's see. But thanks for the heads up, I guess. There's literally no reason you can't do ad campaigns yourself. We need to finance an ad campaign at some time. Does that say time? Sorry, the font is blurred and small on my screen because I got it on my TV. Because, yes, there's no reason you shouldn't have ad campaigns running. I don't know what correlation that is. I have all his info. I have his address. Who? William Gloryholes? Drop it in the chat. Well, I don't know if the chat will allow it. That's the problem. So instead of putting it in the chat, put it in the comment section of any of my videos, and I'll read it out loud. If he has William Gloryhole's docs info, just go to it. It can't be my live chats because my live chats are restricted for that because we have a lot of block words that have to do with information like locational. But if you have his docs, gladly go put it in the comment section. I'll read it. Because fuck William Gloryhole. He's been a cunt for years. That's the most I'll respond to that though. Let's see. D-Chat says I have even less tolerance. I actually want to boot kids from chat whenever I can, but I get the whole channel growth and all that. But I consider that necessary evil. Yeah, that's my issue with it. Is if they're here and they're being, appropriate, and they're being, I guess appropriate is the only real word. If they're not over here being gross and talking about penises and shit, then I don't care if they're in here. I really don't. I don't think they should be a part of that conversation. If we're talking about pedos and shit, I tell them this is not a video for kids. Leave, right? That's kind of the idea. And there's been none in here that I've seen. So at this point, I don't have to word that myself. I don't have to say it right now because there's not been any in here. In fact, it's been very few people. But let's see. Do I want to go and reload the comment section thing every few minutes? Hold on. Let's see. Oh, I'm not delay again. This guy looks even worse. What the fuck is this? Okay. I'm not sure your circumstances where you come from. You sound both a bit like a kid. Someone needs help with something they don't know how to get their way out, man. You appear to be a grown man to be dude. Just kind of like to see it. Not all the comments are insults now. They went from nonstop insults to slowly delving to people being understanding, but at the same time critical. Which, there's a lot of insults in here still. JD, oh, here's one by, I'm not going to read their name actually. JD's a clown. One day we're going to find out for sure his hand's been in places they shouldn't have. Wow. I love how this is going. I love where this is going. JD, this video is blowing up. And it's not, FBI is now aware, thank you. What? Oh, the FBI is aware that JD's a weirdo. Okay. I'm like, what? Let's see. They're close enough. So Ford Man 7479 is still justifying 16-year-olds having sex with grown-ass adults. Okay. So he's a diddler, I guess? So Ford Man's a pedophile, I guess. This is another one by Fusion Force. Oh wait, well that's a troll. Never mind. Do you remember Fusion Force from back in the day, DJ? But they said, "Oh look, another diaper sniffer for the wood chipper. What are the odds? You aren't going to get off easy, you clout chasing mongrel." Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's a lot of insults. It looks like. A lot of incest insults, too. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? JD's community is such shit. Alright, I'm not going to respond to those until after the stream because I want to go give them some thought when I put the comments in. But yeah, like, JD's community is complete dog shit. Instead of... I mean, I'm not saying they have to agree with me. But, like, the level of copium I've seen from JD's community is hilarious. What do I want to do? Want to build a little house for here, I guess? The level of copium I've seen from JD's community is unreal. Like, it's actually kind of amusing. Like, I don't really know... I mean, where do I begin? Like... I don't know. I just think it's funny. And fucked up all wrapped into one. Let's see, I guess. It's okay, because at the end of the day, it's still the same. I mean, you're going to get some insults, you're going to get some positive comments, right? Literal defending stuff. Why do we get such creatures in our chat? Literally defending stuff. Sickening stuff. Well, because they're pedophiles, and they don't want their kind... They're cesspool cretins of their species to be criticized. That's really what it boils down to. JD is a piece of human shit. This is the community that JD has created. And his community is over here justifying why it's okay for children to be in bed with adults. Yet, the whole time, they're saying things like, make pedos afraid again. Make it make sense. Like, and like, seriously, make that make sense. Why is JD's community, in any capacity, justifying pedophilia? I thought they were against that. I mean, I knew they were hypocrites, but this is another level of what the hell. And I'm not really sure how to respond. I mean, shock, I guess, would be the main... Oh, a hummingbird's on my door. Oh, tweet tweet. I'm not really sure how to respond. Because, like, pedophilia is wrong no matter what. Why are you all justifying it? That's actually the thing that's going on right now. JD's community is in here defending pedophilia. Remember, if they're under the age of 18, it's not okay. That is the rule. If they're under the age of 18, there's no reason for it to be considered okay. And that's what JD's community is doing. It's not just one guy either. It's a few. There's a few people from JD's community trying to defend JD, saying you shouldn't have this opinion of JD because he's not a bad guy. But then they're also in here saying, is this what it's all about? You're mad at April 23? No, April 23 is not the Predator group. But she is somebody the Predator group was helping in defending. Again, it's weird because it's like, unless, from what I've seen with JD Delay's community, unless they're 5 years old, it's totally okay. If they're above the age of 5, then it's okay to be fucking. Seriously. Yes, but why do they keep finding their way here? It's like they all are compelled to come here and defend one another. I've never seen anything like it. Are we that scary to them? It seems like it. Because you have to remember, JD's community is apparently all liberals. Apparently. I don't know how much of that is true. But if they are all liberals, it makes sense. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick to liberals. I'm really not. But, like, you ever notice it's almost always liberals? Remember, I'm a Democrat who hates Democrats because my Democratic Party is filled with diddlers that can't fucking use their brains. Like, the level of retardation in the Democratic Party is insane. But, seriously, I've never seen anything like it. It's always liberals and Democrats coming into our chats to justify diddling kids. And I don't understand why that is. I have no idea why that is. I can't make sense of it. And trust me, I've tried. I'm like, okay, there's got to be some reason why it's always liberals. It's always fucking liberals, too. And what I don't understand is, what do they expect? So now I can call JD Delay's community a bunch of pedos because they're literally in here justifying being a pedo. Like, there's no other way. There's no way around that. Like, that is what's happened. And if JD is a guy who panders to pedophiles, first of all, so is it just one big showcase to make themselves look less bad than they are? I mean, think about it. He goes around saying, make pedophiles afraid again. He sells the merch, and they're always there sucking his teat, right? So if that is the case, you would think that they wouldn't want to wear that merch if they really were pedos, unless it's to make themselves look like they're not pedos. I mean, you would never suspect somebody to be a pedo if they're wearing a shirt that says, make pedos afraid again. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, hidden in plain sight. JD's community is all pedophiles. And JD's over here just pandering because all he cares about is raking in that cash. That's what we have discovered. And it's not because of any other reason than how they present themselves and the things that they defend. Like, I don't get that. I mean, I do. I 100% understand. Because, remember, if you don't want to get caught, you're going to do anything you can to pull a wool over people's eyes. That's what predators do. And JD's community are predators. Hidden in plain sight. Because, let's be honest here, Ford Man didn't do himself any favors by saying, it's okay. Because, you know, she's close enough to being an adult. That's what pedos say, motherfucker. I think someone should call up Ford Man and say, that's what pedos say. Because that's literally, I shit you not, that is what pedos say. Oh, well, she's close enough to being an adult. That's what makes it okay. The Cyrax troll community would have a field day with this. They would have a fucking field day with this. Like, I've never in my life seen anything like it. And somehow I'm the bad guy for not liking JD very much. You know, I'm going to say it. JD is a kid diddling piece of shit. Is he really a kid diddler? I don't know. I really don't. But, like, if we're being completely fair here, it's weird that his whole community is pedophiles and weirdos. I know. I'm crossing a lot of lines by saying that, but don't worry. I'll say it tonight, too, when we're on our camera stream. Because it's going to be a camera stream. No, I don't even know. It's okay, because the more of them come in here, the more our videos are blowing up. The more our videos blow up, the more awareness gets brought to this. The more awareness gets brought to this, the less that anyone can get away with it. Because eventually we'll have more people showing up.
I've never lost anyone
And let's be
before.
honest here, there's a lot of comments that are hateful and angry, but there's also a lot of comments, and I mean an exceptional amount of comments, of people stating, yeah, JD is a fucking piece of shit. You're just now finding out? Yeah. That's also a thing. That is also a thing right now. So, to be fair, I'm not entirely butthurt by this. This experience is actually going exactly how I was hoping it would. But, hold on. Let's do it here, actually. Building a 2-story house. Yeah, I don't really see how this correlates to any other possibility. I think JD's a fraudulent, predatory piece of human crap. And I think it's funny because people actually know this already. I mean, why is JD predatory? Because he creates communities of predators. I mean, I know that's a bold accusation. But if it weren't true, why are they justifying doing that with kids? I thought they were against that. I mean, I expected this from JD to turn a blind eye to what was going on. I did not. And viewers, if you're watching this, I did not expect his community to justify diddling. I never would have expected that. That is a bombshell. Like, I never saw that coming. And that has been the case for the last 12 hours. This is like Mr. Beast all over again. It's okay, because, let's be honest here. If I raise enough hell, which is what I intend to do, people will catch on, and then it'll literally be Mr. Beast all over again. And JD can fall because of his community, for all I care. Hey, JD, I hear your community is nothing but diddlers. Your thoughts? He's like, it's not true. Pay me money. Because that's what he's all about, right? He's a fake piece of human crap. Yeah, that's the one thing that really irks me about all of it. You don't want to think that these people, these supposed heroes, are predators and scumbags. But they are. It's kind of funny to me that our little buddies, the ones that are targeting us in the background, right? They've been really quiet since this started. See, it's not that they're intimidated because of JD's community. No, they don't want the attention on it. Enough attention gets drawn to this, so you know what happens? They can no longer control it. It's literally wildfire. That's what we're doing. We're creating wildfire. Because if JD's community raises enough hell, because I'm raising enough hell, then what will actually happen, more or less, is, well, what will happen, more or less, is, hold on, I'm drawing a blank here because I'm trying to build a wall at the same time. What will happen is, it'll go everywhere. It won't just be JD and his community. Trolls know that. They call themselves trolls, but let's be honest, they guise themselves. They're not actually trolls. They're a bunch of pedos in disguise. What's funny is you think they would get along with JD's community because they're all liberals, aren't they? I've always said trolls be liberals. And for some reason, they're like, we could talk to these guys and have it go our way. No, but if we do, then everyone will see it. If everyone sees it, then we don't control it no more. Yeah, that's what it's always been about, I've noticed. Alright, let's see. So we got the master bedroom, with no windows, of course. We got the bathroom, storage area, I guess. We got the living room and the kitchen. Yeah, that's really what this boils down to. We're just trying to raise enough hell so the trolls can't really hide this no more. I don't care if people like me. I don't care if people hate my guts. I don't care if they want to call me Stan or accuse me of being a diaper sniffer just for criticizing JD, which, by the way, is fucking stupid. Because that don't make no fucking sense. By the way, JD stole diaper sniffer and he stole wood chipper. He's not the first one to do that. He borrowed that. Okay, so according to one guy in our comment section, the wood chipper thing came from TikTok by another person, and he just picked it up and decided to never drop it again. Somebody said wood chipper on TikTok, and that's where the wood chipper thing comes from. I bet you diaper sniffer also came from somebody else, which I think is kind of hilarious that he's that much of a. Well, he's not very original. And somebody else, another comment on top of that, pointed out that he also only does reaction videos now because he's not actually a content creator. He just lifts content off other people because it's a way for him to stay afloat. Which I also think is hilarious. Let's see, I guess we'll do... I mean, I don't really care about him doing reaction content. That don't mean shit to me. Like, I mean, sure, I think it's kind of cheap and lazy. I don't really like doing reaction content myself for that very reason, because I just feel like it's not very original. Like, I'm not saying you have to be 100% original because fair use is a thing, but it just feels lazy. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel genuine at that point. I'm not saying you have to do the content I say. Like, I mean, you do the fuck content you want. It just doesn't feel genuine at that point. What? So you go to somebody else's video, and that's all he does, really. I mean, sometimes no, I take it back. It is mostly that. Well, we were trying to think, like, does he do anything else? Because I don't want to lie. Like, I mean, based off my experience, he's been a fraudulent piece of human crap. Okay. But, like, has he done anything else for content? Has he actually done any other forms of actual content? Does anyone, like, recall? Because I only can see, from what I've noticed, reactionary stuff, which is, again, I'm not against it. You know what I mean? Do whatever the fuck you want for content. But, like... But, like, at the same time... It also doesn't help that most of his audience appears to be trailer trash. Like, that's also a thing that I've noticed. I'm not saying they're bad people because they potentially live in trailers. Remember that I lived in one for a couple of years, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, it's interesting to note that his entire audience is a certain demographic. A Marler Queen Claw. Jesus. I didn't know Marlet Queens had claws. Let's see. Bug. Let's do... Yeah, I don't know. I find him to be a very fake person. And it's not... I'm not complaining because he's fake. I'm complaining because he let me down. He spread all this bullshit about how... He said all this bullshit about how he was going to help me out. And I know that whining about it ain't going to change it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to change what happened. Instead, it's more like... Dude, I'm allowed to vent, you know what I mean? And I feel like me venting will let it out of my system. I've never met so many just dumb fucking people. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the general issue I have now. Like, first it was him, and I was venting because at some point I'm going to. That only makes sense. But then I find out that his community is the most disgusting, degenerate fuckstains I've ever seen. And I don't know, man. Like, I guess in a way I shouldn't be surprised. And again, it also doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, so JD's community is mostly diddlers and weirdos, right? You know, that's what we noticed with the Cyrax troll community, right? To be fair, we noticed that with the Cyrax troll community as well. Yeah, they'll say all this bullshit about how they want to stop pedos and shit, right? Like, that is something we've seen, right? We've seen it time and time again. But I didn't really... I didn't expect it this time because of all that talk, right? Is it weird to anyone that every time we expose or every time we look at... how do I want to word this? Is it weird to anyone else that every time we investigate a community online, we always find out that they're diddlers in disguise, pretending that they hate diddlers? Like, there's a lot of pedo hunter groups out there. How much you want to bet that if we look into 5 more of them, we're going to find a lot more pedos in those groups as well? Like, do you think? Because I have a weird feeling we're going to find that. Let's see. Furniture, miscellaneous. Oh, there's the TV. Ada, move. Jesus Christ. That's how you know we have no power. I don't know. I guess in a way, I guess I'm just disappointed. I expected better of these people. And to be fair, I would never have expected so many sick, degenerate pieces of shit. What's funny is, do you think JD's going to call that out? No, of course not. You know why? Because that's his community. That's where his money comes from. He's not going to call out the sickos in his own community because it's also been nothing but gang, I don't want to say gang warfare or something like that, but like it's been nothing but like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's been hypocrisy. It's been that gang mentality. They'll come on here, they'll say they're against pedos. Fuck all the pedos, they're horrible people. But then all you have is people justifying it. And then what I find to be interesting about that is that then they'll go and they'll pretend like, oh, we can't call that person out. He's a member of our community. That's what makes it okay if he does it. And then you start having hypocrisies literally everywhere. I think there's nothing in this world more disgusting and pathetic than a hypocrite. There we go. TV's on. I mean, that is the reality of what I believe. I believe that if you're a hypocrite, you're the worst kind of person out there. The reason why is because hypocrites lie. All they do is pretend to be something they're not. And that's the kind of shit that makes the world as messed up as it is. You know what I mean? Sup, Tibbs? Rip Music Biz Marty. I know, right? May he rest in peace. I mean, that is the truth of it all. If you're a hypocrite in this world, you don't go very far as respect. You don't actually have anything you actually believe in because you'll spew all this BS, and it turns out it's not really... You don't actually believe in it. If you don't believe in it, why are you pretending like you do? I feel like that's the problem with JD. I feel like that's always going to be the problem with JD. Is that he acts like he believes in stuff that he doesn't actually believe in. And if you start making exceptions to... Like that one guy, that Ford man guy, right? You're over here justifying pedophilia. You're either against it or you're not. There is no, but in this situation, maybe it's okay. No. It's criminal. It's evil. I mean, sure, right now there are certain places in the U.S., and he had this really dumb argument about how weed is legal in some places, but people still can smoke it, and that for, like, that's his argument. He's comparing pedophilia to smoking weed for adults. It's illegal in some places to smoke weed as an adult, even still, but you still do it. So you're saying people, it's it's illegal in some places to f kids, but people can still do it. Are you clowning me? So I'm calling Fordman 7479 a pedophile right off the bat because I don't even know what else to say. Hold on, I want to read the comment thread because it might give off some way to explain the entire story, right? Hold on, it wasn't this one, I don't think. There was another thread. Let's see. I'm looking for it. I'm not seeing it for some reason. That bitch didn't delete his comment, did they? Did he delete the comment? Oh no, here it is. Okay. His first comment was 10 hours ago. Fordman7479 says, "You sound like a schizo, man." And I said, this is what I said. By asking some douche to keep his word, you're right, JD is a lying sack of shit. I'll remember that going forward. Because literally, make it easy, right? He says, by sounding like a crazy obsessed fan, I'm crapping on him and saying I hate his guts. How is that being a fan? But anyway, he says, "Dear Stan type of behavior, man. How you talk and how you move while you talk. Clearly some sort of mental health problems going on. You should see a therapist, might do you some good." Then he says, and I responded to that. He says, I said, well, here's the problem. I want to expose a predator group. I asked for help and he said he would and then blew me off. People suffered. I put effort in something he really didn't care. Damn it. I put effort in something he in all reality didn't care about. People got hurt. Children got hurt. That is what happened. I guess JD can live with that as long as his pockets get lined with YouTube revenue. So anyway, I make these videos, and when I act normal, talk normal, behave normal, nobody cares. But when I add the motions, the behavior of a person who's had enough, then you all start talking. That's good. More eyes on me means more eyes on the predator group that rampage through the lives of me and those around me. YouTube likes it when people talk. You, my friend, are doing exactly what I want you to do. You're here spreading this all through the algorithm. Those predators will pay, and you're helping me achieve that. Very slowly, yet doing it nonetheless. But that's not being a crazy obsessed fan. That's frustration that built up for 10 months, and that's me trying to do something about it. So his response, what's the pedo group anyway? Drop some channel names and links. And so I gave him my Rumble, because it shows you everything that they've buried on their channels over the years. Because I would show you the channels and links, but they're just going to bury it. They've already done that. They've already removed everything that makes them look bad. So, like, obviously, you can't go to the channels and see it. You have to see it where the evidence still exists, right? So I sent them my Rumble. And it's rumble.com/user/TibsTV. This guy didn't look at it. He did not look at the Rumble at all. And here's how you know. Fordman7479 says, I don't even know who he is. This video is just in my feed for some reason. I'd say if he has a big following, he doesn't know how to write, I guess. He doesn't even remember or know you messaged him about any of this. Might not be interested in exposing someone when the person is less than 12 months away from being considered an adult. That was the first time he justified pedophilia with they're almost an adult, therefore it's okay. They're close enough to an adult, really is the idea, right? So I said, the Rumble account is mine. It shows dozens of videos detailing what this predator group has been doing to women, children, and others over the last 2 years. I have archived it because this group terrorizes women and children and then moves on and buries all the proof on their end. Also, you keep saying they're almost an adult. You sound like you're making excuses for diaper sniffers. So hypocrite could be a way to describe you. He says, in response to that, no, I'm just not on the hysteria. There's a difference between kids and young men and women. If you're not over 18, you're not a young man or young woman. This guy's a sicko. Because you're already trying to find reasons to say, oh, if they're 16 years old, they're a young man, they're a young woman. It makes it okay to have sex. Like, no. I mean, if you're... Anyway, I'm just going to like let that frustration go at this point. And they're close in age, so it's not predatory. They're close in age? No, they're not. 7 years is not close in age. Rax should really consider joining the JD community if he isn't already a part of it. Something tells me not only would they embrace him, but also defend him. Yeah, based on what I'm seeing here. So Cyrax, if you're watching this, go join the JD Delay community. They'll defend you. Honestly. Because that's what this looks like. You have to be smart. And then he continues. He says, you have to be smart enough to know why something is wrong instead of saying it's legal or illegal. It's not that it's illegal. It's that it's morally wrong to fuck kids. Ford Man's a fucking retard. But anyway, moving right along, he says, I don't need to make excuses for anyone because I don't believe in someone in their early 20s being with someone under 18 is predatory. If you don't believe in that being predatory, and by the way, 23, 16 is a 7-year age gap. There's a lot of people. There is an exceptional amount of people that would agree with me on this one. And most have. And so I had to spell it out to this retard. Anyone below the age of 18 is still considered a minor across the U.S. A minor is a child. Okay? So you suggesting that's okay because they're close enough to being an adult makes you a diddler-loving retard. Sorry, but you lost my civility and respect when you started making exceptions to excuse diddlers. And by the way, that is a normal response to have. If someone's over here defending diddlers, and this is from JD's community, by the way. This is JD Delay's community defending pedos, which is the last thing I would have expected. Yeah, if you defend them, you're one of them. It's that simple. Now, this is the one where he makes the really dumb explanation, right? Fordman7479 says, no, it just makes me able to use logic instead of questioning if it's legal or not. He's 23, not 33. I guess he's respecting April 23's pronouns. They're close enough in mental development for it to not be predatory. And 16 is the legal age consent in some states. So he's not doing anything illegal. So there's your legality dilemma dealt with. Now, think critically instead of saying, government. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this. It's M-A, then M-A-H, government says that's the devil, water boy. He called me a water boy? What the fuck? I don't think I've ever heard anyone call me a water boy before. Mama, government says that's the devil. When you're fucking kids, yeah, that would be the case. Because I've never known any good person to want to diddle kids. Why is Fordman defending Chomo so hard? And he's from the JD community, right? But then he says this: pot is illegal in most states, yet you admit to smoking it. You can't compare smoking weed to fucking minors. You really can't. That is the weakest argument I've ever heard. So Fordman 7479 is a chomo. Because if you're going to defend chomos this hard, and you don't believe it's predatory to diddle kids, which is really what he's saying at the end of the day, like, I'm like, I guess he's a pedophile. Like, I don't know how else to look at that. But then again, this is coming from JD Delay's community. So JD Delay has a bunch of pedos in his community? And it's not even self-hating at that point either. It's like they're hiding in plain sight, because if they hide in JD's community, no one will suspect. That is predatory. That is super fucked up. But yeah, I don't even know what to say beyond that. I'm having to explain to another grown man that banging a child in bed is wrong. I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to fucking begin. I always knew JD was fake, but his community is nothing but pedos and chomos. Like that. And I can say that because the evidence provided proves that. I'm like, I don't even know what to fucking say. I'm like, I'm at a loss for words. You know, I thought that this was going to be over about a year ago. I never thought we'd be doing this now with JD Delay's community. And see, it's not that we're calling out JD Delay. I mean, at this point, JD Delay is a fraud. We know JD Delay is a fraud who doesn't want to stop pedos. But here's the thing. If you're a pedophile hiding in JD Delay's community, knowing this information, why wouldn't you hide in his community? Why wouldn't they open their arms to people like Cyrax and EDP and shit like that? EDP was trying to bang a 16-year-old. So according to JD Lay's community, EDP's not a bad guy. Think about all the people that hate EDP for what he did. Think about that. JD Lay is going to get fried alive. Because if JD Lay doesn't do something about his community and step up to the plate and say that this is not okay, what the fuck are you all saying? Think about it. People will kill him, regardless of how big of a man he is. Hang him by his fucking ginger beard off a fucking cliff. Because, seriously, that is what people are suggesting. The amount of people that targeted EDP, the amount of people that targeted Cyrax, the amount of people that targeted Onision. Onision also did these disgusting things with 16-year-olds. So what you're saying is, it's okay as long as JD's cool with it. If JD isn't calling it out, wait, that doesn't even make sense. Because JD himself has even said, anyone below the age of 18 is a minor and it's not okay. So why is this community... There's something going on. Something about this don't feel right. Move, Ada. Get the fuck out of my way, you tin bucket. More. More. A little bit more. Move your metal tits back. Thank you. I appreciate you, Ada. You're not that bad. Just like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. Like, this is some of the scummiest shit I've ever seen. And how am I supposed to respond? You know what I mean? Like, this is genuine. JD's community is genuinely predatory. Because if you're going to defend pedos, then you're going to protect pedos. If you're going to protect pedos, you're going to help pedos do what they do. And then in turn, children will become victims. Explain that to me. I'm not saying anything that isn't common sense. We're not going to sit here and pretend the whole world's backwards and say, oh, you're wrong, Tibbs, because we believe in some other kind of molecular nonsense. No, that's not how this works. We're not going to pretend the whole world is backwards. If we're going to spew bullshit, and that's what's happening, then we're going to stand by the bullshit. If JD's community actually is meant to hate chummos, pedophiles, whatever, then we should actually see that happening. Why is JD's community defending predators? Because JD's fake. I fucking win. Let's see. Do I want to put a stove in here yet? Do we have what we need to craft stoves? Oh, we can. Cool. Put this right. Let's see. Happiness should be going up soon. Let's see. I guess we could put some boxes and crates. Let's see. I'm seeing some comments here. Well, the people that owned that trailer weren't particularly stellar themselves. Were they? Brandy and her family, they were just more of the same. I think you're behind in the video, but yeah, I agree that trailer trash is typically scumbags. Yeah, I think that JD's community is dog shit, and they're all a bunch of belligerent chomo retards. I mean, it's funny because JD himself comes off as the kind of guy who would fuck his own cousin. What? I'm not allowed to say that? Hold on, I'm getting a word from my manager for a second here. Hold on. I'm not allowed to say that? Why can't I say that? It's true. He does look like he would fuck his own cousin. Well, he's a ginger. Gingers don't have souls. I'm still alive. They can hear me. Shit. I'm kidding. I promise. I'm joking. But well, I'm not kidding about the fucking assumptions I'm making. I honestly do think there's something sus about that man, because like, I just fucking don't even know what to say anymore. I'm like, look, guys, I'm at a loss for words, okay? Because I didn't really think, of all people, there's more. There is more. There was actually a guy that came into my comment section and said, you shouldn't be going to JD's community because there are other people who actually care about stopping this. I was talked to by a guy, and he'll probably reach out to me again because he's getting the information, on people who might be able to do something about this predator group. As in, there are people who might be able to catch ranked material dead in the act. Yeah. There's been a few comments also by a guy who's a part of a major predator group. This also happened. I don't know why I didn't bring this up sooner. But there's a guy who's a part of a major predator group. Or not a predator group, a predator catcher group. God damn, that sounds really bad. I'm sorry. He's a part of a major predator catcher group. And he's willing to help work with me on catching ranked material dead in the act. That's also a thing. So I'm going to set it up. I got to figure out how to reach out to certain people. And then we're going to see about making it happen. Because at this point, if they can catch them dead in the act, all they need to do is go onto that Discord. That's it. If they wipe the Discord, you'll know that there was something there. But let's be honest here. They've been hiding that Discord, haven't they? Ranked Material does not want anyone on that Discord because they know how bad it looks. Except for minors. They really do want they want as many minors on there as humanly possible. And it's not just, it's all kinds of criminal, illegal shit. Not just pedo shit. It's all kinds of shit. Pedo shit too, obviously. But like, hold on, let's see. Let's put this right here. But yeah, there was actually somebody that was willing to, I guess you could call it, set up a sting. So a few of them, heck, Alex Rosen even caught a viewer of the wild. Hold on, I can't read that letter. Is that M or RN? Well, it's actually funny. It's actually funny that you say Alex Rosen. It's actually funny that you say Alex Rosen because that's him. That's apparently the guy that they want to catch ranked material. I mean, they'll probably do it without Alex Rosen being the direct one, but see, Alex Rosen has a big enough community. Alex Rosen is a big enough predator catcher. He has enough assets, so it will not be him baiting them. Yeah, we're talking about actual lures that are being possible. I don't know if it's going to work out, but if it does, Alex Rosen's also a fucking professional from what I hear. Everyone's recommending him, and the people that came into my comment sections bringing this up, and they've also been calling out JD's community at the same time. So we already know that these people know. Alex Rosen's community, the guys who came in. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys the story. I'm going to keep this brief, right? The guy that was commenting to me, along with a few others, were former decoys for Alex Rosen's community. It's public information, so what's the point in hiding it, right? It's not like we're like they already know. We already know the Predator Group haunts our channel and stalks every single piece of information. They already know it's coming. They know it's coming. Which means the Predator Group's going to probably hide for a while. They might not exactly. They might be like, oh, yeah, fuck you. They might. But based on how they are with kids, I have my doubts. I think they'll fall for the bait pretty easily. But this guy was a former decoy for Alex Rosen. And he says, you need to reach out to Alex Rosen. And I asked him, how do I do that? And he's going to get back to me. Yeah. This is a fucking thing now. which is great because if JD Delay's community can't do their fucking job, well, it looks like Alex Rosen is willing to, which is huge because based off what I've seen, the horrors that I've had to endure, looks like somebody's going to finally do something about it. I don't want fame off this. I don't want popularity or subs. I just want rank material to burn for what they did. And if this is the way, so be it. Hold on, I got a comment here somewhere else. I don't know what this is. Yep, that's the one. I'm going to subscribe to that, actually. What? That's so fucked up. Can I read this? Or is this for our records only? Well, see, then this proves it. This proves what's going on with JD's community. All right, I'm going to read it. So there's a YouTube channel. It's clearly a Predator Hunter channel. And the title of the video is Channel Subscriber Panics When He Finds Out It's Me Instead of 12-year-old in Kingsport, Tennessee. JD's community has pedos in their group. JD's not going to call it his community. We already know this to be true, right? Alex Rosen rules, a.k.a. Gordon Flowers. Oh, yeah? Well, right now, from what I'm hearing, Alex Rosen might be willing to fight or expose, for that matter, rank material. Imagine, you're not getting one predator. You're getting thousands. Thousands of these people. And it's not just pedo shit. It's corruption of a minor, all kinds of shit. It's all kinds of shit. There's a lot of sexual things going on with minors going rank material. But they're willing to hear me out. They're willing to look at the evidence I have. They're willing to actually potentially do something about it. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know how this is going to play out. But I do know one thing. Rank material can't get away with it no more. And JD Delays over here like, fuck you, sends his whole audience out. Because you know what JD did, right? He sent his audience after me. He's like, shut him up. JD's a fucking bitch. JD's a fucking bitch. But then Alex Rosen's over here like, I'll help you out. They literally said, fuck JD's community. There's other predator groups out there that actually give a shit. So, apparently that's what's happening. Let's see. That's an actual fan fell for his decoys and got confronted. And actually, I'll show you one later after the live stream. You just sent me a clip. That video, we'll have to react to that video at some point. But see, that's the thing. That is proof right there. That video that he sent me just a few minutes ago, that is living proof that predators do hide in anti-predator communities. That is living proof. Which means JD Delay has that problem. The Cyrax troll community has that problem. I bet you our channel probably has that problem. I mean, I call people out when they say it. I'll criticize every fucking member of my community if you even remotely try to defend pedo shit. I will. Fuck you, I don't need your sub that bad. I'd rather have no subs than pedo subs. Let's be honest here. I've been doing that for a while. That's why it's so hard to grow, because everyone on the internet's a pedo these days. It's fucking weird. But, okay, we got all this shit. The bed, the flag, these things. I don't know if I wanted furniture. Let's do it. But it's living proof that it is actually a problem on the internet. Although it's nice to know Alex Rosen also calls that shit out, which, you know what's funny? It gives me a lot more confidence he'll actually do the right thing. Because he'll either blow me off or he'll actually do it. That's the reality, right? But yeah, it looks like we're doing this. It looks like we're fucking doing this. We're at war with JD's community because I've never seen so many diddlers in an anti-diddler community. It's kind of fucking weird. And then, as for the other thing, we got Alex Rosen potentially being willing to reach out and help us out. His decoys will get put in a good word too. They're like, yeah, man, this is. I showed them. I think I sent him the link to my Rumble. I don't remember. But yeah, there's some real fucking shit going on, and I'm all for it. Also, I love how many people are calling JD a piece of crap. What's this? Summer Games Fest today at 1 p.m. for Xbox Showcase. Okay, I know that we're talking about this and all that, but I'm going to stop about 1 p.m. I'm going to buy a pizza, and I'm going to watch the Xbox Games Showcase. Do you guys want to do that live? Or should I just not do it live? We'll talk about it tonight or something. Because we only have like a half hour before I'd have to cut the stream. I didn't realize that was today. I'm like, it's fucking Sunday already? Yeah, I know that we're talking about some heavy shit. We're talking about stopping pedos and teaming up with predator hunter groups, which, by the way, is a great fucking way to get shit going. I am so on board. I'm so fucking excited. You know why? Because I've been wanting to fry these assholes for a while. But at the same time, like, realistically, this is a gaming channel, so, like, I have to try and make games a priority, right? God, I'm tempted to buy a pizza and just do the showcase live. I mean, we can all do another reaction video. What do you guys think? You don't have to if you guys don't want to. I just think it would be a cool idea. Let's see, do we got a toilet? Broken ass fucking toilet. There we go. Got a toilet here. Bathroom is ready. Storage area is done. We got the bedroom. I think the bedroom needs some work. We need to add some more things, like maybe a rug or something. Let's see. Like Jared, Cyrex, Corbin, Jupiter should all join the JD fan club. At this point, yeah. Like, I think JD being fake is exactly why they're there, too, because they know he's not going to call them out. It's a perfect place to hide. Oh, this guy's part of the JD community. He'll never actually be a sicko. And then they are. Like, that's literally the reality of it, right? That's why they're hiding in JD's community. It's okay. It's fine. I expected that. I honestly do. You know why? Because if you're a predator, you're going to do anything to do what you do with kids. Anything. That includes building little examples of how to make it look like you're not actually what you are. That's why they hide in his community. I don't like these ones. There we go. Galaxy News Radio. Put that right about there. Let's see. Alright, I guess the bedrooms kind of looks good. Pilot Logic, Jared Janis is on the up and up because he lives in Texas, and AOC, there's 13 or something. Are you serious? Dude, you gotta be fucking kidding. It's actually 13 out there? That's disgusting. Texans are all like, well, it's okay if she's 13. That's a grown-ass woman in as far as our eyes. I'm mocking them by saying it like that. Dude, I live in the United States, but I'm not going to sit there and turn a blind eye to it because everybody's cool with it. Like, okay, so, okay. In 2020, Joe Biden became our president, right? And then from 2020 to 2024, we notice a flux in predators being existent on the internet, as well as everywhere else too. It's not just the internet; they're everywhere, like literally everywhere. The amount of rape that has happened in this country since 2020 is disgusting. But now it's gotten so bad, and people are normalizing it so much because LGBT decides that's the thing to do, right? And I am blaming LGBT because they're the ones who had this dumb idea in the first place. That there's now a map community. What is a map, you may ask? It's not a piece of paper that tells you where things are location-wise. No, that's a recreational geography map. I'm talking about a map as in a minor attracted person. A chomo, a pedo, a diddler, a diaper sniffer, whatever you want to call it these days, right? I'm saying diaper sniffer because right now we're criticizing JD's community, and that's how they know it to be, right? So, generally speaking, the map community became a thing. And now there's so many pedos out there that there's a full-on community for them. Somehow the United States caved, sold out on its beliefs, and decided that something that was both criminally wrong and morally wrong, because let's be honest here, anyone below the reason why age of 18 is age of majority is because children do not have fully developed minds until they're about 18 to 21. That's actually a thing. I mean, sometimes it takes years longer than that. So the reason why this is the case is because children are young. They're vulnerable. They do not have fully developed brains. They do not understand the world around them. They are still learning. To sit here and say it's okay to clap cheeks with a 16-year-old, which is the JD community, right? Or a 13-year-old in General Texas, right? From what I'm hearing about Jared Genesis. At that point in time, you have to understand that that is what a pedo would say. Oh, it's okay because they're close enough to being an adult. Age consent makes it okay because it's legal. Just because it's legal does not mean it's okay. Realistically, just because it's illegal does not mean it's okay. Or just because it's legal. Oh, it's not breaking the law, therefore we can be diddlers. You do realize the law was made to protect and pander to diddlers. The law was put in place by pedophiles in the first place. Because I don't know any non-pedophile that would ever say, we don't have enough people fucking little kids. No, it's not a normal thing for people to say. And yet you have JD Delay's community saying, it's okay, man, because age consent makes it okay. It's not illegal, and it's close enough to being an adult. Close enough is not being an adult. Close enough to being an adult is not the same thing as being an adult. There's a reason why they have these things in place. And let's be honest here. It's the map community that wanted it to be a thing in the first place. Let's say how do we put this into story form, right? So you have a bunch of chomos running around the world, right? And they're all like, we need to be able to get away with doing what we do to kids. We're getting in too much trouble. Too many people want to kill us. Let's find a way to make it okay. And so what they do is they have enough outcry, right? Oh, well, think about how many pedos you'd have in prison versus how many you wouldn't have in prison, right? Think about, all the other things. I mean, you can start doing it too. It wouldn't be so bad. Think about how young they are. They won't say no to a relationship at that point. They're desperate. And so this dirty, corrupt politician that has never given a crap about the betterment of mankind says, you know what? These pedos have a point. We shouldn't be demonizing. We should be helping them do what they do to kids. Let's lower the age consent to 13, says the politician. That's how you get Texas. Let's lower the age consent to 12. That's how you get Alabama. 16 in Michigan. 16 in California. They're slowly trying to lower it even still, too. Where do we draw the line? Like, fuck the game for a minute, honestly. Like, where do we draw the line on this? 18. That's an adult. Oh, let me get this straight. So, you can't smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, or drink alcohol till you're 21. But you can have sex, get impregnated, and start a family as young as 12? Really? That makes sense to anybody? I'm genuinely pissed off by it right now. I'm also deciding to slowly close out this stream because I want to go watch Xbox to get my mind off this shit. Honestly, I'm gonna kill JD. Like, literally, at this point, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Because, like, I mean that mostly metaphorically, right? But, like, at the same time, it's like, you fucking piece of shit. You realize what you're doing, right? You're over here fucking emboldening these people. I can tell you guys this right now. I fucking hate JD Delay. Based on what his community is like and what they're saying about kids, I am shocked. I had never had any idea it was this bad. But also, just putting it out there, I'm going to fucking fry this son of a bitch because JD Delay is a pedophile enabling piece of shit. I have never in my life seen anything like this. And the more and more I'm hearing, the more and more I'm learning about this situation, the more disgusted and angry I'm getting. I may be a nobody. I may have almost no following. That does not mean shit to me, okay? I have a moral stance here on the saying that this is not okay. And I have been against it ever since it got thrown into my lap by some diddling bitch named April 23 3 or 4 years ago. Was it like 3 years ago, some shit like that? I have had a problem with this for quite some time now. Because before that point in time, I didn't even know about it. I didn't hear about diddlers. I didn't talk about diddlers. We didn't have to hear what they were doing. I didn't have to understand the atrocities that are going on in the world. We didn't have to deal with people's communities. Nothing. 3 or 4 years ago, whenever this totally started, before that, I was a happy guy. The world didn't seem so bad. And this one thing, this one fucking thing, has actually opened up my eyes and my ears to how fucked up the world really is. So here's what I plan to do. I'm going to light the world in pitch and then toss in a match. Because I guarantee you I'm not the only person that's a problem with this. I'm going to build a fucking hate community built around hating chomos. And what we're going to do is we're going to tear their fucking world to the goddamn motherfucking ground. And when they're all dead and gone, or gone, let's just say that at the very least, right? Then I'll go back to being happy. I mean, don't get me wrong. It does bring me a lot of joy to slowly tear the world apart. But I have never in my life seen so many kid-fiddling sons of bitches in one place ever before in my life. And it's not just JD's community. Don't think that it is. It's a lot of people. The Cyrax Troll community has the same problem. A lot of communities have this problem. Mr. Beast, in its entirety, is pedos and kids. Let's be honest here, okay? I have a real fucking problem with this. So my goal right now is simple. We're going to play video games, right? But while we do, we are going to tear a fucking hole in the goddamn sky. The fucking universe. The gods won't be able to ignore us anymore. And that's what I'm going to do. Because, mind you, until these chomos are fucking dead and gone, or at least ranked material, I'll settle for ranked material. JD, you can be a poser-ass bitch, because once we raise enough hell, you won't survive, JD. That's simply a fucking fact. But let's be honest here. Let's be really fucking honest. My only goal is to wipe out ranked material Discord and their fucking clandestine clan of fucking mutants. The rest of you can burn by default. That's just where I stand. Once it's over, you'll know when it's over. I'll be smiling. I'll be playing video games, having my life be the way it used to be. The world will know my name, and you will learn to fear it. I sign up. Fuck all chomos. There we go. 100%. I want to build a fucking hate community designed to hate chomos. And last time I checked, that's a popular thing on the internet. But here's the thing. I actually mean it. And I might go a little bit too far. Let's be honest here. Because, like I said, I don't want chomos arrested. I don't want them hauled away by the police. That doesn't do anything. I want them fucking dead. Once we have... Look, guys, we have I'm going to say what I said 2 years ago. Namcap, DJ, you guys might remember this. There's a lot of trees in the world. In the United States alone, there's about 3 million trees. Probably more than that, let's be honest here. Well, All those trees have branches, and we can bring rope. There's going to be a chomo hanging from every branch. Let's be honest here. I don't want to share air with these motherfucking cesspool cretin piece of shits. I really fucking don't. So I figure we'll put a rope around every neck and a chomo in every tree. And I'm going to go that far. Because once they're dead, then the kids are safe. Then we can't bitch about the chomos no more. And then this problem is finally solved. But trust me, if we make enough hell, if we raise enough hell, they'll execute them in prison. Now, I don't mean waiting for the inmates to find out who's a dealer and who's not. No, I don't mean beating them up. I mean giving them the fucking chair. The electric fucking chair. Because that's how you get what you want. You get a big enough amount of people, and you bitch and complain until they do what you want. That's how marijuana got legalized. Bunch of crackheads saying, please, please, legalize it. There's 14 million people that want it legalized. And then everybody's smoking it now. I figure if we can do that, we can kick the Geneva Convention's ass and stop this humanitarianism for pedos. I think it's totally possible. In fact, let's make that a priority. And if JD has a problem with it, JD can get on his knees and suck my fucking dick. We know he did a lot of that in prison. So, I figure what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go and respond to all these comments in the comment section, have a good time with that. But I'm going to go watch the Xbox showcase. I'll be back on here later. We'll have a chat. We'll have a talk with D-Chat, because that's what we do every Sunday. We'll probably talk about this, let's be honest here. I'll try to breathe when we do that. It's not fun to have a conversation with somebody who's ranting and raving. I get it. But just so it's out there. Just so it's out there. If JD's community is that bothered by this opinion, these opinions that I have, are they really against chumos at that point, considering they're so critical of me hating chumos? Come on, man. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. See you in the next one.